Hello, hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to the weekly intuitive card reading for April 21st through 27th. Okay, guys, you know what to do. Please like this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Please share this video with anybody that needs to hear the energies of the week. What else? Comments down below, questions down below, feedback down below. Let me know if this stuff resonates with you. Let me know if it doesn't resonate with you. Either way is fine. What else? Just be kind is what I always say. Same 3 decks as I've been using the last few. Shuffled, of course, different order, I believe. We're starting with the Angels and Ancestors deck here. And I think that's it, guys. I hope everybody is well. It's looking like spring. Just a tiny bit. Here in New York City, and that always gives me an extra pep in my step. So hopefully the weather is better for those that have seasons. I'm very jealous for those that do not. But yeah, I hope the weather is great by you guys, and you guys are doing okay. All right, let's begin, guys. Let's see what this week has in store for us. This is the last full week of April. So I can't believe it went so fast. So there will be obviously a May monthly reading in the next week and a half. Okay, guys, let's begin. Let's go. What do we need? Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. Okay, we've been getting a lot of this type of energy. Getting rooted, getting grounded, staying present. Putting your feet in the ground. Even this it's similar to like a committed type energy, right? So it's saying like, put your roots down somewhere, right? It's saying that. So again, it's saying that we need to do this. So we need to actually start getting our ducks in a row to kind of get this done. So definitely stay present. Maybe there's a commitment that you need to make. You need to put roots down. This could be very literal, meaning like maybe you're actually buying a house or something like that in a new location. So stay rooted, stay grounded. Let's actually see what action needed has. TikTok. Okay, so this is interesting. TikTok is always about like running out of time, or you have like a time commitment. Sometimes it does lean towards more like better time management. But for me, it definitely is getting, and you guys know I read intuitively, definitely getting more so of like TikTok, like time is running out kind of thing. So I feel like they can be connected. So going off of what I just said, let's take the example, literal. If you actually are buying a house, maybe there is a time limit. Maybe other people are waiting to put an offer on it. Maybe you need to be out of your house by a certain time, by the end of May or, the end of June or something like that. So basically it's saying you need to take action on the things that we have a time commitment on, and we could be really feeling it this week. Okay. So we could be really feeling that time crunch. Okay. So put that pep in your step. Okay, I'm just talking about pep in the step with spring. And maybe that's the general energy, right? It's making us go a little bit like, it's, Spirit is saying like, come on, hurry up, get things done, put the pep in your step. So, so go ahead and do that. And that obviously doesn't have to do with just, buying a house. I know I'm not buying a house, that's for sure. This is the reading for the collective, so it could look differently for everybody, but there feels like there might be like a time crunch on something. So speed it up, kids. All right, issue. We have gambler, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. Ooh, I love that. Okay, issue. So we're having issues doing that. Okay, so we have issues taking a chance. We have an issue following our intuition, going with her gut, doing something last minute or spontaneous. That's the energy. I read intuitively, so that's the energy I'm getting, guys. So definitely it feels like we're afraid to gamble on something, take a risk at something. Okay, guys, use your own intuition. I don't want to hear anybody coming in the comments saying, well, you told me to do this and you said Spirit told me to do that. Guys, this is just the influences. This is just the energy. You must always use your own intuition. But this is telling me that maybe we're going against our own intuition and not taking the risk that we should. So do it at your own risk. But Spirit is asking us to really think about, what does your intuition say? Okay, so it definitely does feel like we are feeling a little confused if we should take that risk or not. But trust yourselves. We've been getting a lot of messages about letting go of the control and letting the letting the trust in, right? Because I mentioned it last time, I'll say it again. And thank you for the comment last time. That letting go, no, what was it? Oh God, now I'm gonna mess it up this time. Okay, every time we try to control something, we're not trusting in the universe, right? And so this is basically saying more trust, go with your gut, take that gamble, et cetera, et cetera. So we're having issues with that. We're probably going back and forth like a ping pong. That's what it definitely feels like. But you will get to the right decision towards the end of the week for sure. Challenge. Medicine, mother, honor, inner knowing. Okay, so these are pretty obvious things. So under issue and challenge, we've got I don't know if I could trust my intuition, because this says honor your inner knowing. Knowing is one of the intuitive gifts that is, in my opinion, I always say this, the most bizarre. Because what do you mean that you just know something? Okay, it's it's bizarre. It's claircognizance. It's your inner knowing. Okay, so we're also having a challenge with that. So guys, both things. Okay, intuition in the way of feelings of seeing, of gut feelings, and also that weird one where we just know things. Okay, so we're having challenges there. Guys, it definitely does feel like we're having a ping pong type of week where we're saying, oh, I don't know, my intuition says this, but it doesn't logically make sense. Guys, all I can say is just follow that intuition. It is never wrong, okay? It is never wrong. So don't discount your inner knowing. I think that's the last thing I want to say before closing that up. All right, change. Why? Okay, so this is always about asking the deeper questions, going deeper, being more reflective. So it says that that's changing. So we're having a new level of awareness. We are uncovering hidden truths about ourselves. We are starting to see, the way that I would link this to my situation is I've done a lot of reflective work already on this, but I haven't necessarily had the brain power to really go deep. So maybe that's what the change is here. That would be great. But why, connect, I usually call it like connecting the dots. Why did something happen to me? And what are the lessons that I learned from this particular thing? I have, pretty good ideas, but maybe there's like a deeper layer here, right? So apply it to you. So maybe there are things that you need to connect the dots with, that you're understanding, maybe why you have some commitment issues, why you wait to the last minute for something. Maybe there's procrastination things you need to think about, why you can't listen to your intuition. Okay, so there's a lot of questions that we're going to get answers, and that's what's changing, that we're going to a deeper level of awareness. And that's always great because it always leads to a bigger understanding of ourselves, right? We have so many different parts of ourselves, and, self-actualization, as they call it. All right, focus. What do we need to focus on? Monk, nun. Okay, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. Okay, and I think we got this exact card, if I'm not mistaken. But a dedication to spirit. Yeah, so basically every once in a while we get a card, focused on your spiritual practices, whether that's meditation, whether that's taking a walk in nature, whether that's praying, if you're religious, going to church, something that helps you keep connected, because you're really going to, obviously it's saying focus on it because we're going to need it this week. Obviously spirit wants us to probably, keep it up daily, but we're only human. So if you've fallen off, this is basically saying get back on it and get back to your spiritual practices. All right, what it means to reflect on, feel loved and comforted. Okay, so this is reflecting on, so guys, Mother Earth, Earth Guardian, okay? So, yes, another type energy talking about commitment, but also to feeling, grounded, right? Getting grounded and feeling comforted in that grounding. So this could also be it's under reflect. So basically it's saying what makes us feel loved? What makes us feel comforted? What do we find comfort in? So it's not actually, so this is the reflect, so it's not necessarily a doing. So say if you find what's coming to me is going home and having your mom cook you, one of her homemade meals, right? It's not actually saying do that, but reflect on, kind of take the cue up here from the change, reflect on why that's important to you, or why that makes you feel comforted, you know, and go like a little bit deeper in that way, and things that make you feel loved. So this is something that we should be asking ourselves pretty often, because as we evolve as people, or, you know, go from relationship to relationship, it's really good to think about, you know, what makes you feel loved. Yeah, even like in family situations too, you know, what, you know, your love languages, for example, and things like that. So definitely reflect on all kinds of things. But I think it's very interesting. We have 2 earth cards coming out here, very green up here in this quadrant. Okay, responsibilities. The fates. Okay, love this one that comes up, because it's kind of like destiny. It's basically saying it is what it is, and what will be will be. Okay, so your responsibility is to understand that notion as things go on. So if something happens this week that maybe you feel like, oh God, you'll never get there, or you'll never have the life that you want, or some, you know, any negativity that kind of comes up, you know, or something else takes you down like a different path. Guys, I was, I don't want to make this like a long story, but because there's so many things to say about that, but like this here in America, where we sent up like the first all-female group of women on the space shuttle, on Blue Odyssey, I think it's called, whatever. I just found out that one of the astronauts on board was somebody that wanted to be an astronaut, but then was SA'd, if you understand what I mean by that. I don't want to say it on YouTube, but so she couldn't finish her astronaut training. And so basically she took a different path, you know, like something happened to her. She took a different path, and she went and she made policy around grape kits and how long they could be used and things like that. I believe that's what it is. But she did a lot of policy change for SA and grape victims, and she accomplished a lot. And then finally today in 2025, she was able to go up in space and fulfill her dreams of being an astronaut. So you can almost say it was written in the stars. It was the fates. Okay, no matter what, even if life deterred her, even though she took the winding path, it still led to what, you know, going into space eventually. Okay, so this is such a good message, and I wish they would have highlighted that in the story instead of the celebrities that went up. But I digress. Again, I could say a million things about this, but it made me cry so much, because it's like, even if you have to wait a little longer for your dream, it's okay. Whatever is meant to be will be, and it's just chef's kiss, beautiful story. So it's a good reminder for all of us, honestly. Very inspiring, and again, I really wish they would have highlighted that story. It would have been so much more inspiring to see. Okay, so we have femme fatale, but we have it in shadow. Inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. Okay, money, finances, and career. Ooh, all right. This is so interesting to get under money, finances, and career. All right, femme fatale in the shadow. Oh, God, I don't like this. I do not like this, but guys, you know I'm always committed, speaking of commitment, to speaking the truth. So, guys, I'm not going to lie. Speaking of, God, this reading is, I wouldn't say not the greatest, but we have to talk about SA again, graping, harassment, things like that. This would signify something like that. I don't love this, but I'm, you know, again, being honest. Some of you might be being harassed at work in some way, shape, or form. Okay? Not great. Don't love it. But this is what's coming up. And again, I'm committed to telling you guys what's going on. This could just also be, if that's not what's going on at work, and I really, really hope it's not, this could be somebody. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily feel like us. It feels like it's happening to us. It feels like there might be somebody at work that maybe is on a power trip, is too power hungry, is attached, you know, speaking of control. Well, yeah, like kind of controlling and like, you know, they're just like on their power trip basically. And they, you know, if it's a woman, they could be kind of using their attraction to get ahead, or get their way, like something along those lines. I definitely feel like it's happening. I feel like it's happening around us, right? It doesn't feel like it's us in a weird way. it definitely feels like it's happening to us. So something funky is happening at work here for a lot of us. Again, but not it. Any way you slice it, it doesn't feel great, because it's like creating like a kind of like toxic environment, like in the workplace. As far as like your money and finances are concerned, I feel like it does mess with that in a way. Yeah, it feels like it does mess with us in a way. So guys, I would love if you guys put down below if that resonated with you and how so. If you're brave enough, if you don't want to share that part of your life, I totally understand. But I wonder how, I'm trying to think how it would apply to me as I go along. But that's the energies that I'm getting, so I'm always committed to telling you guys. So, all right, surprise. We have shaman, trust in higher forces. Okay, this is about trust. I'm not shocked at this, because that's basically what I've been telling you guys this whole time. And last week too, right? Okay, so trust in higher forces. So this is basically saying trust in the universe, please. It's under surprise. This means maybe this is the week that you guys are finally, like, you're trusting so much it comes to a surprise, right? Or you're trusting, you have been trusting the universe, and then something comes to fruition because you trusted it. Okay, either way, it's under surprise, so it comes kind of out like out of the blue. Either way, it's a positive thing. So I like that there. All right, what's going on with friends this week? People that we surround ourselves with. New life. Okay, so meeting new people. A dose of, even if you're not necessarily meeting so many people, because I'm not necessarily feeling like an outwardly social energy, even from any of these cards. Sometimes we get like a networking card here and there. We have like more reflective type stuff with the change and things like that. But I love it. These two compare together for sure. How we like to feel loved doesn't mean just our romantic connections, okay, guys? How we feel loved within our friendships, within our, friendships are still relationships, okay? They're still connections, right? And so we need to feel loved by our friends, the people around us. Could be family too, yes. Could be coworkers as well, which don't love that. There's kind of some negative space around that in the money, finances, and career section here, but definitely does feel like we're meeting new people. And we're feeling like we're approaching a maybe like a new community, or we're coming to the conclusion that maybe we need to surround ourselves with more people that more so align with us, or something along those lines. But new life is no joke, because it really just means like newness, fresh energy, that kind of thing. So I like that. I like that a lot. All right, romantic connection. We have divine child upside down, inability to defend oneself against negative forces. Okay. All right. So romantic connection. How do I explain this to you guys? Okay, so it definitely does feel like we're feeling like disconnected, but more so disconnected with not necessarily your partner, but with, it's an interesting one to get for romantic connection. Feeling like the world is against you, feeling like you're not connected to other people. And the fact that it's under romantic connection, guys, I'm going to be honest, it's a hard one to kind of navigate, because, and guys, you got to let me know if anything I'm saying resonates. So I'm going to try this. Potentially feeling like that with your partner, meaning like you guys are kind of like going through the same thing, where maybe like you feel like disconnected from, I guess disconnected from each other, but more so like, disconnected from the oneness within each other. Does that make sense? So how this can manifest in a more grounded way. Possibly feeling like you're not giving your partner maybe the benefit of the doubt. Possibly not seeing the innocence, or, oh God, I really kind of don't love this word, purity within. So maybe like an example here, oh, this is a tough one. Maybe a good example here would be like, getting extremely angry at your romantic partner because how about this? Getting angry with your romantic partner for not necessarily doing something that you've asked them to do like 20 separate times. And yes, that's annoying, and you hate repeating yourself, but I don't know if that's the greatest example, guys. Sorry, I'm struggling a little bit. They maybe were yelled at when they were younger. Maybe there's like some trauma around something, and they're not doing it because of that, right? It's not because they don't love you, okay? So let me see if I can try to sum that up or make that clearer. It really is a little bit more so of like giving them the doubt, like they're doing things without even understanding that they're doing it, and like they have like this, like it okay, here's a better way to say this. Sorry guys, this this is tough, but it's important that I figure this out. It's almost like yelling at a child that it's like yelling at a child that doesn't know how to walk when they're like a toddler, right? Number one, they don't understand what you're saying when they're a baby. They can't understand English quite yet, right? Their cognition, they're not there yet. And two, they don't know how to do it. So you screaming at them and yelling at them is not great, because it's not going to, first of all, it's not going to do anything, and second, you're not I wouldn't say putting yourselves in their shoes, but you're not understanding like that maybe they just don't know how to do something. Okay, so maybe my example about taking out and doing chores is maybe not the greatest, but if they don't know how to maybe love you correctly, right? We have the feel loved card up here, right? And reflecting on that. So these two might be connected in some way, shape, or form, but there's something here where we have to understand that different consciousness levels between two individuals. I should have started with this. Two different consciousness levels between two individuals, and they don't know everything that you know, and jumping to conclusions about things is just going to kind of run into trouble this week and get into unnecessary arguments. So if we really understand the divine child in all of us, things will be better in our relationships this week. Woo, that was a hard one. I probably spent like 10 minutes on that, but difficult. It wouldn't be so difficult if it wasn't under romantic connection, but that makes sense there. All right, if you have questions, put it down below, because I don't even know if I explained that correctly, but hopefully you guys understand. All right, important. What's important? She-wolf, unleash the wild within. Ooh, getting a little wild, getting a little free, a little bit more liberated. We love that. Dance on a table this week. Right? Do something, maybe play hooky at school, okay? I'm not telling you to do it, just giving suggestions of what this could mean. Use your own intuition, like I said. Do something kind of wild. Go skinny dipping. I don't know. Again, not telling you to do these, just suggestions, but it's important that you make some room for your wild child this week. All right, health and wellness. We got no place like home. Okay, so this is about home energy. Could also mean nostalgia type things. Home could also mean our body, which is very applicable here for health and wellness. So this could mean about going back to your body. This could mean if you're on a physical journey, like I am, could be going back to the basics, going back to homeostasis, trying to get your body in sync again. That means getting the basic nutrients that your body needs. Make sure you're getting them. Make sure you're not deficient in them. Make sure you're drinking water. Make sure you're exercising. Make sure you're eating right. Okay, this is all the basics of taking care of your home, which is if you're a soul, you live somewhere, right? You live in a body here on earth. Okay, so that's what that could be talking about. It could also be something more tangible, meaning like maybe you're on a some kind of spiritual journey, and it's asking you to go back to your hometown to kind of close up loose ends, or make amends with people, or visit family because you've got a feeling that, you know, going back and rehashing things with your family with a new perspective, which could very much be true because of that change card up there, would be beneficial for you. Okay, something there. It's going home, taking care of our body. It's all good for our health and wellness in some way, shape, or form. So that's an interesting one. But it's basically saying go back to home base, which again, you can interpret as your body, you know, go back to the basics, or you can interpret it as like literally going back somewhere that you feel home, that feels like home. All right, overall outcome, what do we got going on? We have Father in the Shadow, dictator. What a wonderful one to get here in America. Okay, so abuse of authority. All right, I don't love that because, guys, kind of similar energy here with Femme Fatale and Father in the Shadow. So there's some kind of abuse of authority. So I'm going to say it's probably most likely having to do with career, could also be hobby, and could also be school. Okay, I linked them all together, but there's some kind of abuse of authority that's kind of going on this week. If you guys want to link it globally, I already kind of said it. I think you have an idea of what I mean. Definitely feels kind of dictatorish here in America. So this could be that kind of energy for you, okay? It's just picking up on the overall energy, so I don't love that. But there definitely does feel like, you know, we've been getting these messages of control lately, but to be honest with you, it doesn't feel like us. It feels like we've kind of moved past that, and we're you know, as a collective, we've moved past that, but maybe other people didn't get the message, okay? So that's what it feels like, because it doesn't feel like we're abusing our authority. It feels like authority is being abused around us, and it doesn't feel great. This has a different meaning to me now because this is basically saying be liberated, right? So it's important to try to find your liberation somewhere in a dictatorial society. Okay, that's what it's saying. So it's very interesting that we didn't get like a lot of rebellious type, you know, there we have the Avenger card. We also have the Justice card. So we didn't get a lot of those this week. We didn't get any of them. But there definitely does feel like there's like an abuse of authority in some way, shape, or form that is coming to a head this week in some way. Again, feels more like it's work, something to do with money, finances, but it feels a little sinister. And I have to say, everything else looks good. Everything else looks good. These two I would definitely point as red flags for sure, but hopefully it doesn't affect you guys too much, and you guys have a you know, a good week, because like I said, everything else looks pretty good. So, all right, guys. Oh, before I go, let me just say one more thing. This could actually be also too, like if you're estranged from like a father figure of some kind, or a man, it doesn't necessarily have to be a father. Could be a man that's a father. I don't know, like an ex or something like that, comes back to try to control in some way. So I just wanted to throw it out there. Okay, guys, that's it. I've talked enough, especially about this one right here. Sorry, I probably let the reading go a little too long, but guys, I hope you have a wonderful week. Like I said, watch out for these two here, but other than that, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.